You're watching the Defense Dynamics and I'm Danveer Singh from New Delhi. In this episode, we'll tell you about India's Defense Minister's announcement to do with indigenous jet engine breakthrough, why it is going to be strategic autonomy in the skies. Next, we'll tell you how the Agni-5 test will lead towards peace through strength, and how the latest INS Himgiri symbolizes the indigenous naval power. How will Israel's Rampage air-to-ground missile expand Indian Air Force's precision strike capabilities? And why is the Indian Army Chief visiting Algeria? But before that, major defense headlines. India's DRDO has successfully conducted the maiden flight test of integrated air defense weapon system off the Odisha's coast. The multi-layered system combines QRSAMs and V-SHORAD missiles and a laser-based directed energy weapon. During trials, all three weapon systems destroyed multiple aerial targets simultaneously. The Indian Navy commissioned Project 17 Alpha stealth frigate Udayagiri and Himgiri on August 26 at Visakhapatnam. Built at two different shipyards, the ships mark India's growing maritime strength and indigenous shipbuilding capability. Both frigates feature advanced sensors, stealth design, and 75% indigenous systems. Korean Air and LIG Next One have teamed up for South Korea's KRW 1.78 trillion electronic warfare aircraft project. The program seeks to provide the Republic of Korea Air Force with an advanced airborne EW platform. Final proposals will be submitted in September 2025. Russia's upgraded Kirov-class nuclear cruiser Admiral Nakhimov has begun sea trials after years of modernization. The vessel now carries 80 vertical launch missile cells, replacing its older P-700 Granite system. Originally commissioned in 1988, the warship is amongst Russia's most powerful surface combatants. Spanish shipbuilder Navantia has secured a contract to upgrade Royal Thai Navy's two Patani-class offshore patrol vessels. The ships will be equipped with advanced CATIS combat management system. CATIS, based on Spain's Socomba CMS, enhances multi-role mission capability.
हम लोग फ्रेंच कंपनी शेफ्रॉन के साथ इंजन मेकिंग का काम भारत में शुरू करने जा रहे हैं.
India stands at the threshold of historic breakthrough, one that could shape the future of its air power. At a recent conclave, India's Defense Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, made an announcement the enthusiasts of the aviation had been long waiting for. India will build its own indigenous fighter jet engines in collaboration with French manufacturer Safran. The Defense Research and Development Organization is now preparing to place a crucial proposal before the Cabinet Committee on Security to jointly design, develop, test and produce these high-thrust engines in India. This is more than just technology. This is about strategic independence, about sovereignty in the skies. Flashback to August 15th. It was from the Red Fort. Prime Minister Narendra Modi declared India must have its own indigenous jet engine. The Kaveri jet engine project, India's flagship effort, fell short of expectations. Designed to power the light combat aircraft Tejas, it could not deliver the required thrust. The result? India was forced to rely on American GE engines to keep its fighter program alive. Now the stakes are higher than ever before. India's next big project, the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft or the AMCA, demands engines in an 110 to 120 kN thrust class. Without an indigenous power plant, India risks perpetual dependence on foreign suppliers. And it's here that the French Safran enters the picture, offering not just an engine but full partnership for India. This could be a game changer. The French company, already a partner in Rafale program, is now in talks with the DRDO to co-develop a new high-thrust turbofan engine, a deal worth nearly $7 billion with 100% transfer of technology to design, test, qualify, certify and produce the new 120 kilonewton engines in India. And just days ago, the Defence Minister of India, Mr. Rajnath Singh, confirmed the move. But why Safran? Why not the American or the Russian engines? The United States has cutting-edge engine technology, but Washington has consistently been reluctant to share the core design and hot section know-how, especially turbine blade metallurgy and single crystal technology. Russia, on the other hand, has historically been India's closest defense partner, but Russian engine technology has struggled with efficiency and durability. The engines deliver raw thrust, but with higher fuel burn and shorter lifespans when compared to the Western designs. France, by contrast, offers both advanced technology and willingness to co-develop. Safran has indicated openness to share critical hot core technology and assist in creating a new engine optimized for Indian needs.
This Indo-French project isn't just about producing an engine. It's about producing knowledge for India's AMCA and other future platforms. The ability to design, test and manufacture at home could decide whether India truly breaks free from the decades of dependence on foreign suppliers. The Cabinet Committee on Security's note will be the next decisive step.
As per the existing timelines, the AMCA, with stealth features like internal weapons bays and serpentine air intakes, will only be ready for production by year 2035. The Indian Air Force plans to induct 7 squadrons of the fighter. The first 2 squadrons will use the American GE F414 engines, but the next 5 will be powered by the 120 kilonewton engine co-developed with Safran. For India, this isn't just a technical milestone, it's a strategic necessity, because air dominance in 21st century begins quite literally at the heart of the engine. The road will be long, the challenge is immense, but if India succeeds in mastering the fighter jet engine, it would have taken a giant step towards true Atmanirbharta in defense manufacturing. India has just crossed a strategic milestone. The Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, has successfully tested the Agni-5 intermediate range missile. This is not just about range, it's about reach, credibility and a cutting-edge capability that only a handful of nations in the world possess. From the launch pad at APJ Abdul Kalam Island in Odisha, the Agni-5 roared into the skies. A thunderous liftoff, tracked by DRDO scientists, marked the test of India's most powerful missile yet. With a strike range of over 5,000 kilometers, Agni-5 puts nearly all of the Asia and parts of Europe within its reach. From Beijing to Shanghai, Islamabad to Tehran, the missile extends India's deterrence footprint far beyond its immediate neighborhood. What makes this test historic is the validation of MIRV, or the multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles. In simple terms, one missile, multiple warheads, each hitting different targets. From India's nuclear doctrine, this is a technological game changer. So now let's talk about the MIRV capability that India has just showcased to the world. Now this is a intercontinental ballistic missile which has got 3 stages, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and it is after the stage 3 that the multiple independently targeted re-entry vehicles enter into the space back to target various targets. So now here we see this is the last stage, and ahead of this stage, this one, This is the tip of the missile, which is carrying a number of these MIRVs. The missile is traveling at a very high altitude. In fact, it is in the outer space. Once it starts entering, you can see there's a lot of friction which creates a lot of high temperature, and it burns out, thereafter releasing number of cones. These are the multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle, and they carry the nuclear warheads. Now, once they are released, they independently move towards their respective targets. They have got mini propulsion systems right behind each cone. There is a propulsion system which actually propels these cones or the nuclear bombs to various targets in the enemy area. So it makes it very difficult for the enemy to neutralize them, to destroy them.
Agni-5 is powered by a three-stage solid fuel engines. Guided by advanced navigation and avionics, it travels at hypersonic speeds, and thanks to its containerized design, it can be transported by road or rail and launched at a very short notice, thus ensuring both mobility and survivability. The timing is significant. China has fielded the DF-41 with MIRV capability. Pakistan is expanding its Shaheen and Ababil systems. Agni-5 ensures India's deterrent remains credible, modern, reliable, and unmistakably survivable. This missile is the culmination of decades of development, from Agni-1, a short-range weapon, to Agni-2 and Agni-3, the intermediate range, Agni-4, extended range. With each step taken, it has carried India further. The Agni-5 now stands at the apex, intercontinental reach, and MIRV equipped.
Now let's talk about Agni-5 missile, which has been recently tested. It has got an operational range of 5,500 kilometers to 5,800 kilometers. It weighs up to 50,000 kgs, and it has got a length of 17.5 meters. It can go up to a speed of Mach 24, which is absolutely hypersonic. It has got three-stage booster rockets, and all are solid propellant based. It can carry a warhead of 1,500 kgs, and that has to be nuclear. This is why it is the most deadly arrow in the quiver.
India's message remains unchanged: to maintain a no first use policy. Nuclear weapons are not the tools of war fighting, but instruments of deterrence. Agni-5 ensures that any adversary contemplating aggression must pause and reconsider. With this test, India joins an elite group: the United States, Russia, China, France, and the United Kingdoms. These nations are with credible intercontinental and MIRV technology. It's a mark of maturity, of scientific prowess, and of strategic weight.
Agni-5 is not about aggression, it is about deterrence. It is about ensuring peace through strength. For India, the successful test of its most advanced missile yet is a reminder: when it comes to national security, credibility is non-negotiable. The Indian Navy has achieved another milestone in its quest for self-reliance. Himgiri, the third ship of Nilgiri class Project 17 Alpha and the first to be built at Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers, has been officially unveiled. The ship is not just a symbol of power at sea, it showcases India's ability to design, build and deploy advanced frontline combatants.
The Navy calls INS Himgiri a major milestone in warship design and construction. Project 17 Alpha frigates are versatile, multi-mission platforms designed to address both current and future challenges in the maritime domain. This Indian naval ship Himgiri is also a reincarnation. The original INS Himgiri, a Leander-class frigate, served the Navy with distinction for 3 decades before being decommissioned on 6th May of 2005. Designed by the Warship Design Bureau and overseen by the Warship Overseeing Team in Kolkata, the new Himgiri is modular, agronomic, and delivered within envisaged timelines. The launch on December 14, 2020, Himgiri is armed with BrahMos cruise missiles, Barak 8 surface-to-air missiles, and together they provide formidable strike power and layered air defense. The frigate is powered by a CODAG system, that is diesel engines plus gas turbines fitted with AESA radars and advanced combat systems. It is capable of anti-air, anti-surface and anti-submarine operations, offering survivability and superior combat readiness. The ship accommodates 225 personnel with improved habitability. It also offers full aviation facilities for helicopters, enhancing surveillance and strike capabilities at sea. INS Himgiri stands as a symbol of self-reliance. With 75% indigenous content, construction has involved over 200 MSMEs, generated jobs for 4,000 directly and over 10,000 indirectly. GRSE today is building 15 warships across 4 classes of the Navy.
Himgiri is more than just a warship. It's a statement of intent. India's shipbuilding capability is maturing fast, delivering complex frontline platforms indigenously, from strike power to air defense, from survivability to self-reliance. The Project 17 Alpha represents Navy's future, designed and built in India. In the aftermath of Operation Sindoor, the Indian Air Force is making a decisive move to expand its precision strike capabilities. And at the center of this effort is Israel's Rampage air-to-ground missile, tested in real combat and deployed with deadly accuracy. The Rampage is fast becoming backbone of India's long-range strike arsenal. Let's take a closer look.
The Israeli Rampage missile, also known within the IAF as the high-speed, low-drag Mark II, it has already proven its combat value. During Operation Sindoor, this missile was fired extensively from Su-30 MKI fighters, striking Pakistani air bases and terror headquarters deep in Muridke and Bhavalpur. The Rampage is a long-range precision strike weapon designed to neutralize high-value enemy assets with minimal collateral damage. Its standoff capability allows IF pilots to hit targets deep inside hostile territory without crossing into enemy's airspace. Currently, the Rampage integrates seamlessly with India's Su-30 MKI, Jaguar and MiG-29 fleets. With more inductions planned, the missile could soon be adapted for Rafales and even future indigenous fighters. For Su-30 MKI, already capable of firing the BrahMos cruise missiles, the addition of Rampage offers a dual strike advantage. One aircraft can now carry both supersonic cruise missiles and precision standoff munitions, vastly expanding India's strike envelope. The Rampage first entered Indian service around 2020-21 at the peak of border tensions after Galwan clashes with China. What began as an urgent procurement is now transforming into a large-scale induction under fast-track procedures. Going forward, the Indian Air Force is exploring local production under Make in India. This would mean reduced costs, faster replenishments, and technology transfer benefits, thus making the Rampage a permanent fixture in India's strike doctrine. Alongside Rampage, India has also tested the ROKS Crystal Maze 2 missile, also from Israel. Together, these systems reflect a clear doctrinal shift towards advanced standoff precision weapons capable of striking hardened enemy positions with safety and accuracy.
The message is unmistakable. Post Operation Sindoor, India is arming its air fleet with combat-proven long-range standoff weapons. The Rampage missile's precision and penetration have already been tested in battle. Its accelerated induction combined with possible indigenous production signals of a more flexible, powerful and future-ready Indian Air Force. India's Chief of Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi, is in Algeria, his first overseas visit since successful Operation Sindoor. The trip highlights India's push to expand defense partnership in Africa and the Mediterranean.
During his stay, General Dwivedi focused on army-to-army cooperation, training exchanges and defense capability development. With Algeria operating similar equipment, India is well placed to provide maintenance expertise and operational support. The Army Chief also shared India's zero tolerance on terrorism while exploring industrial partnership in modernization and logistics. For New Delhi, Algeria is a security anchor in the Sahel, an energy powerhouse, making this visit a strategic milestone.
From counter-terrorism and training to industrial defense partnership, the Army Chief's Algeria tour carries a clear message. India is looking to scale up its presence in Africa and cement its role as a reliable partner in global and regional security. So here is my take. For India, strategic autonomy is not a slogan, it's a necessity. We live in a world where alliances shift quickly, technology is tightly controlled, and wars are increasingly fought in the grey zones of cyber, space, and supply chains. India cannot afford to be dependent on others for its defense, nor it can be tied down by compulsions of military blocs. Strategic autonomy means the ability to take decisions in our own national interest without waiting for approval from any capital. It means owning the critical technologies from jet engines to missiles, from artificial intelligence to space systems that no one will part with so easily. It is also about resilience, ensuring our armed forces can fight with what we produce, maintain and sustain indigenously without supply lines being cut off in times of crisis. Finally, strategic autonomy is about voice. Only a nation that is militarily and technologically self-reliant can shape outcomes in global geopolitics rather than being shaped by them. For India, therefore, strategic autonomy is not just about freedom of action, it's about survival, strength, and stature. With this, we come to the end of this episode of Defense Dynamics. Thank you for joining us, and do post your comments with hashtag #DDWithDanvi. See you next week, decoding complex defense stories. Till then, goodbye and take care.